quite some time. Yesterday I spoke to a good friend of mine, a female that's going to come on and have a chat with me very soon. And I've got quite a few outstanding veterans that have done outstanding things to come on and chat about their service. But it's only right that I start off this little series talking about just some of the things that I used to really enjoy. Don't know why I did it, but I did. I loved it. My stories out there. You can see my stories in several books. I joined the army to get away from a time in Belfast where I could have easily have joined the UDA or the UVF or something, because it was an easy way out. Join a paramilitary organisation because it was the thing to do, believe it or not. Back in the early 90s it was, and it was everyone looked after each other in the paramilitaries. But I didn't want to go down that road, so I decided to join the military and do training, go through the training and join the Royal Irish Regiment. Now, my first few years in the Royal Irish Regiment were just a complete fuck up. There's no point lying to you. I loved to get fit. I loved to go out and party. I was always late. At some there was a stage in my career where I was probably better off leaving because I was adding no value to my platoon sergeant. I was adding no value whatsoever. If anything, I was a fucking hindrance to him. Me and a few other soldiers, we all did the same thing. Drinking, soldier hard, do your ICFTs, do your training, do your, I think it's called MATs now, get everything up to date, and then just go and exercise, the odd tour in Northern Ireland, constant Northern Ireland. But I don't know what happened. I just, whenever my unit became part of 16-hour Assault Brigade and we were based in Canterbury, things changed. We became more professional, in my opinion. Everybody wanted to soldier. People wanted to do courses. People wanted to do P Company and reconnaissance. And it was just the whole atmosphere changed. The mentality changed. And I started to really enjoy it. I did reconnaissance and I was in the recce platoon, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And then I did junior breaking to get my full screw tips. And when I came back from that, my soldiering ability changed. I wasn't the best in battalion, but I was learning. I had people around me that were outstanding soldiers. I really I had Gordy around me still. Who else did I have? I had Harry Timon, I had Terry Furlong, I had some great soldiers. Frank O'Connor had taught me. There's loads Spency. The team around me was pretty good, pretty efficient, and I learnt bits from everyone, and I tried to gel it together so I could be better. Then I went away on a tour in Iraq. I did the Gulf War as a commander, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Didn't really do much in the Gulf War 2003, up Telek. We just drove around the desert looking for a battle under Colonel Collins. And things started to change around about Telek 7 in Iraq, where I was picked by my OC to be part of a reconnaissance team to go to Baghdad. And I got involved in a patrol doing top cover, and we got engaged by enemy forces, and all I did was engage enemy forces and try and get my driver to move to a safe area. And for that, I got written up and subsequently got written up for Military Cross. For those that think you don't write your citation, everyone around you has to put statements in of what they seen and what they did, and then the OC puts a statement in and he looks at what people have said in their statements, and he either writes you up or he doesn't. But I found Baghdad to be a walk in the park compared to Afghanistan. Yeah, we left Baghdad in 2006. Would have been end of January, start of February. I can't remember the exact date. It's probably in that book. I can't remember the exact date. But I loved it. And I remember the OC sitting around the table with the whole company and saying, right, 3 para are short of manpower. They need a platoon. So this commanding officer of 1 Royal Irish wants people to volunteer to go. Out of all those people that volunteer to go, the commanding officer is going to select who he thinks isn't going to let the battalion down and who's going to be able to compete with the paratroopers. So I put my name down in a hat. I thought, I wasn't married at the time, I was single. I put my name down there along with Robbie Walker and Davy Strain and several other full screws in battalion. And lo and behold, a few weeks later, got briefed by the OC to say, right, Corporal Colt, the commanding officer has selected you. He selected Corporal Walker and Corporal Strain as the 3 section commanders going away. The platoon sergeant going is going to be Spence. And I was like, brilliant. That's a great man. That's great top I mean, other full screws that I respected, they were fit and they were fucking great soldiers. And I don't even know if I was better than them. I don't. I think I added, the way it worked was you had Davy Strain, out of the three section commanders, Davy Strain was the guy who, he was the thinking soldier. He sat and he went, I need to look at this, right? So that's how he thought. Rob Walker was like, bollocks, I'm going in, give me fire support, and off he went. And I was the guy in the middle going, so I was the in-between, because I thought about things and then went fuck it and went for it. Rob just went for it. He would just knock targets down. Davey was, out of the three of us, full screws, I think Davy Strain was probably the best, without a shadow of a doubt, the fittest full screw, the more, I would say, professional. What do you say, professional? Probably the more in tune. I mean, he got a distinction in junior bragging. He was flying. His knowledge of the battlefield was outshone me. But it was a great team, and we went away on leave. We left Baghdad. We flew home. We went and had about, I think it was about 14 days leave. It was 10 days leave, something like that anyway. And then we had to make our way back to Fort George. We got all our kit on, and we went and trained for like 2 or 3 weeks solid, learning how to call in fire from helicopters, learning how to do different things, section attacks, platoon attacks, purge fire maneuver, and we just trained. Platoon Sergeant Spence, he beasted us non-stop up and down that area. And then he said, right, we're ready to go. We got all our kit brand new, but everything packed up. We 253'd all our kit in our rooms, packed everything away, and we got on the coach and we travelled to Colchester, and we became embedded with C Company 3 Para, and we spent about 2 or 3 months with them. We left there with 3 Para and we flew to Oman, and we went out in the desert in Oman, and we spent a couple of weeks there learning how to acclimatise to the heat prior to going to Afghanistan. We had to learn how to acclimatise and get the body used to carrying the heavy weight. It was just, it was fantastic though. I mean, 3 Para CO, Stuart Tootle, who got the DSO actually, Stuart Tootle, the colonel, he had us out run ragged. We did orienteering, we did marching shoots, we did competitions. We were out there in that heat, and we were just fighting and learning and being watched and critiqued to make sure we were up to scratch. And we did a good job actually. I left there filled with pride. We did really, really well. We fitted well in with C Company 3 Para. We got to know the guys, we got to know the troops. We went from being called a hat bastard to like being part of the team. You have to earn that though. It's very hard for the paratroopers to accept outside units, and it really is. It's hard for them. They won't accept you. You have to prove your worth on the battlefield. You have to prove your worth as a soldier, your fitness, your agility, your professionalism, your knowledge of combat. You have to tick every box for them to say, all right. And we did that. Our Sergeant Major was Mick. Sergeant Major Mick, C Company. I'll think of his name in a minute. And we had Paul as our OC, who did really, really, he was a great soldier. Paul as our OC. We did really well. We got on really well with him, and it was a great atmosphere actually. Great working environment. We flew into Afghanistan though, and as we flew in, I could see like a couple of tents, green tents and shit in the desert. There was nothing there, and we landed. We spent a couple of days trying to get fit. So we got cot beds and we slept in the desert on the green tents. It was shit, and there was like a water tank driving around the desert, just dropping water at the back to try and put the sand down, make it wet. We tried to go out running every day when we first arrived there on the very first herrick, but the sand was so thin, it was choking you. It was just disgusting. So we stopped doing that, and we just practiced. We were just cleaning weapons, getting our kit, getting the ammunition distributed, getting our maps marked up and Fablons. Remember, you used to mark up the northerings in yellow and the eastings in pink or something, or orange. We did that. We got all our maps squared away, and we started getting tasks. I remember getting a task, not that long. We weren't there that long, and we went to Fall Price, which was an American camp, which had been overrun by Taliban. And then we got to there, and then we picked up snatches, the vehicles, and we drove down into Sangin. And there wasn't a single sandbag filled. Not a single sandbag had been filled yet. It hadn't even been attacked yet. It hadn't been attacked. I heard rumours that the Gurkhas had been through there before us, but I don't know. I mean, I never got any proof. But if they had, then they were the first into Sangin. If they hadn't, then we were first into Sangin. But we were part of 3 Para. I really enjoyed it. I remember the rules of engagement changing from from card alpha to card 429 alpha, which is warfighting, and things just went from there. I didn't think at first. You were like, are we ever going to get shot at? I'm going to be honest, as a soldier training up for battle, when you're not shot at and you're not done it, tours can be quite boring. It might sound shitty saying that, but it was quite boring. It was whenever the first engagement started happening and the bullets started to fly, it started to be the adrenaline rush of this is it, guys, come on. See, coming in from a patrol and making game with all your men and having seen some great skills by your troops, the pride, you're about 8 foot tall, the pride of looking down at your men and go, good effort, guys, good effort, guys. It's really good. But things change whenever it becomes real. Whenever you start taking casualties, things do become real. You can't train for that. You can't. You can do TESX, which is tactical endurance. TESX, tactical exercise, tactical endurance. You know what I mean? TESX, tactical engagement exercise. Sorry, TESX. Fucking hell, where you wear little sensors on your helmet and around your vest, and if you're shot at by a laser, you open up your casualty card and it says what your injury is, and the medics go and practice to fix that injury and all that nonsense. But when you start taking real casualties and you see people around you bleeding out, your mindset changes forever. Your mindset changes forever. There's something that opens up in your brain, something that changes. You go from being relaxed to a cold sweat on your forehead, where your heart's beating through your chest. You can feel your heart beating, your adrenaline is pumping, and you can feel the sweat going down the back of your spine. There's nothing you can do because someone close to you it's been catastrophic. So your brain freezes. Now, I know in training, you just get up and go, okay, guys, come, medics on me. Get down on your knee. You're giving the bracket point and all. You're giving the bracket point and you're doing all that shit. In reality, when something goes off beside you, I mean right beside you, boom. And you are, say, covered in blood, and it's not your blood, and one of your guys is lying beside with his mouth open and half of his head off. I froze. That's something that's always played in my mind, that I went into battle shock. I didn't know what to do, which is shocking as a section commander. I've had to live with that now for 19 years. When something like that happens to you and your ears pop and you can't see and you can't hear, and the smoke, the dusk settles, and you see yourself covered in blood, and you don't know what, you're just like, it's battle shock, it happens. You can't say someone's strong or someone's weak. I took that as a weakness for me. For many years, I had survivor guilt. And that was because I was forced to have survivor guilt. Because some of the soldiers that were in my platoon back then went and told the guy who died beside me, some of the soldiers in my platoon went and told his mother, well, Corporal Colt just sat and watched your son die. Imagine having to go through life like that, knowing that these little bastards in your platoon would say something so disgusting. And then it ends up where you become trolled for over a decade on social media. I mean, it's hard enough to get through life knowing that one of your soldiers died under your command, but to be accused of watching him die was probably one of the most shittiest, disgusting things I've had to go through. And that is exactly why, and here's the thing, people, I don't know who said it in my platoon. I don't know who said it, But because someone said it, I left the Royal Irish, and I haven't spoke to a single member of that platoon since, and I have no intention to. I have no intention to look back. It's left a sour taste in my mouth, a very, very bitter sour taste in my mouth, same thing. And I just shut myself away from everyone, and I don't want to go back and visit that, but that's the truth of it. Senior people who worked there at the time, sergeant majors and ex-RSMs who were platoon sergeants and stuff, I still speak to on WhatsApp. I've got them on WhatsApp and I chat to them every so often, and they know what happened. But yeah, Spencer knows what happened. He's a great soul that I look up to. But the rest of the guys I don't speak to because of things like that. I mean, tell me how many soldiers have been involved in an enemy mortar attack that's had to survive that and then being accused of that. I mean, it's just horrific, is it, to go through life. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of my stories of Sangin, DC. Sangin, DC is a place where I'm so proud to have survived there. I'm so proud to have got through it. It was the biggest ever wake-up call I've ever had, where I had to be on my toes. I had to, it was just, I did everything I've ever been taught in that place. Every type of military operation we've carried out from there in live against enemy. But it was also the worst place I've ever been. The most horrific place I've ever been. Anyway, listen, that's enough of that. Look forward to the next one coming up. Take care, everyone. And remember, keep your circle tight. Keep your friends close. And never look back. Keep moving forward.